to Mike Bird in Melbourne.
During the past month, the sun has been quite diverse. The first couple of weeks saw the solar disk covered in sunspot groups, whereas the sun this past fortnight has slowly shed all of them to the point where we have virtually no sunspot groups visible at the moment. The sun is now spotless, the first time since August 2011. Solar activity this past month ranged between low to moderate levels, with only 8 M-class flares being reported. The 10.7 centimetre solar flux was 155 at the start of the month, then peaked at 201, then dropping back to 89 flux units. This equals effective sunspot numbers of 66, with a peak of 153, dropping to a low of 33. Luckily, the geomagnetic field has been quiet to unsettled during the past month, with just the odd excursion into active levels. The ionosphere strength this past month has reflected the ebb and flow of the solar flux and sunspot numbers. At times, the ionosphere has been working very well with the high numbers, but as the solar flux and sunspot number declined, so too has the strength of the ionosphere's ability to support predicted optimum working frequencies, particularly in local night times. Turning now to the all-important smooth sunspot number, which is a good indicator of where we stand in solar cycle 24, the smooth sunspot number for November 2013 stood at 75.4, and by December 2013 it had increased to 76. So once again, solar cycle 24 increases to a new maximum.
It seems to be quite amazing, Mike. Over the last few weeks, we've gone from solar max to minimum, back to max, I suppose. It doesn't make sense, does it?
It's rather like the weather in Melbourne, you know. One day we can have 4 seasons. Yes, very strange indeed. Because the smooth sunspot number is trailing, we only know December's figure, whereas at the moment we've got no sunspots at all.
What do IPS expect over the next few days?
They expect solar activity will continue at low levels until the sun produces a new batch of sunspots. This will mean that the ionosphere will continue to be weaker because of the low ultraviolet and X-ray levels. So you might find, particularly in high and mid-latitude regions, the ionosphere will be a little weaker than normal, resulting in lower signal strengths during local night times.
Thank you, Mike. Now, before you go, can we talk about more cutbacks, and this time what's happening at the ABC?
The ABC has announced that around 80 staff will lose their jobs due to the Australian government closing the Australian network satellite TV service. ABC Chief Executive Mark Scott said the federal government's decision to stop backing ABC International, which runs the Australian network and the Asia Pacific News Centre, has led news management to call in staff to flag changes. Difficult decisions need to be made, he said, adding that reduced staff numbers were inevitable. The international service will take on a converged guise which could include repackaged content. The Community and Public Sector Union said up to 80 jobs, mostly Melbourne-based, would be axed. Voluntary redundancies would not be offered, and managers would choose which staff kept their positions.
Wow, it sounds very serious, doesn't it, Mike?
Oh, it's a tale of woe, absolutely.
What's your view of the shortwave services? Have they said anything more about that?
No, there's nothing at the moment. All I do know is that the ABC is talking to Broadcast Australia about the Shepparton contract, but apart from that, I haven't heard anything. It's all rather sad and very quiet.
Thank you, Mike. Well, we look forward to talking to you again next programme in 2 weeks' time.